Hey, let's talk about it, cause honestly we need to talk about social issues, just uplifting my people. Yeah, let's talk about it. Come join the conversation. A connection's what we're creating. Yeah.
Boom. Let's talk about it. So, first of all, good morning. But I wanted to talk about something today, right? And hopefully this resonates for people out there, right? Like, I'm in a situation, in my life right now to where, I'm going through it, right? I'm in pain internally, but I'm a firm believer that there's also purpose in pain, but sometimes some of the worst type of pain is church hurt. Church hurt hurts. But when the people that you love, they can inflict some of the most pain on you. And what I wanted to talk about today is that, we all have went through some things, right? Like we've all had personal traumas, things that happen, right? But the problem with that is when trauma is used as a weapon. When trauma is used as a weapon. Case in point, let's say you grew up in a household of domestic violence, right? And that was traumatizing to you, right? So now you grow up, you're 30 plus, and you're putting your hands on somebody, right? And then when that situation is like something happens, the first thing, a person to say is, well, my personal trauma caused me to do X, Y, and Z. I've been through so much and, whatever the case may be, right? And it's like, we've all been through stuff. But I'm a firm believer that if you can identify that trauma, then why not work on it? You see, I think that certain people are addicted to certain types of trauma because it has become their identity. And it has become their identity because they don't really know who they are within. You see, sometimes when I talk to people, I always ask them like, what's your story? Tell me about you. And you'd be surprised how many people, that's a hard conversation to have. I dare you to ask somebody like, so what's your story? And if they tell you their story and it's just all about, it's either going to do like this, right? You can have somebody who's going to tell you nothing but bad that has happened to them, right? Then you might have other people that say nothing but great has happened to them. But a real person to be like, hey, listen, They'll tell you the good with the bad. But it's hard for a segment of people. And see, the level that I'm on in my life right now, and this is why, I'm hurt, is because you can want better for people who just aren't ready for better. You can want better for people who are comfortable in chaos. Now, the problem is those people don't even know that they're comfortable in chaos. But you're comfortable in chaos when someone is giving you solutions and you can't hear it. And a lot of times it's the people that you love the most, they will put that wall up because they don't want to hear it from you. They will have these conversations with other people. You know why? Because those other people don't challenge them. You can go to them and tell them this sad story, whatever, right? And it's only, you hear how you feel, right? So if you're feeling a certain type of way, everything that comes to you is going to, tap into that. So, they'll talk to people who agree with how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Like you sit down, man, I'm just, oh my God, I was going through this way back in the day and this, that, and the other, right? And they're comfortable with telling someone that who's going to be like, oh, come here, give me a hug. Now, I'm not saying that that's wrong because sometimes you do need a hug, but your body is going to be a representation of how your mind feels. That's why a lot of people are so tired all the time. Because when you mentally shut down, you spiritually shut down. And I used to be the type of person, I used to admire people who could shut things off. I used to admire people who can just be like, boom, and then, but those are the type of people who have shut down mentally And that has affected their spiritual. That's why they always tired. That's why they always upset. It's because they have shut down mentally. But anyways, so you want to talk to people who are going to tell you that, you're right. Yeah, you're right. This, that, and other. And I'm just not that type of person. If you're right, you're right. But if you're wrong, I'm going to tell you that you're wrong. But not only am I going to tell you that you're wrong, I'm still going to speak life into you. So I find myself in situations to where, I'm at the point to where I believe that a lot of times my spirituality and my positivity is used against me. Because when I have a bad day, I'll let people know I'm having a bad day. But then it's mighty funny how, you'll be like, man, this is going on right now. And then those same people will tell you, well, I thought that's what you prayed for. And you're like, are you trying to weaponize? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I'm human. I'm going to have bad days. But the difference between my bad day and maybe your bad day is I know that joy comes in the morning. So I give myself an allotted time to feel how I feel. And then after that time, I got to move on. Because if I stay stuck in it, it becomes me. And that's the problem with so many people out there. You have been a certain way for so long, it is you. And you know this true when you say, well, this is how I've always been. But life is about evolution, right? Life is about evolution. But here you are stuck in, well, this is how I've always been. I've always been like this. How dare you, blah, 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 blah. No, listen. When you have kids, and I'm a firm believer in this, when you want to see a change in the world and you have kids, that is going to be the change. That is going to be a product of a change. And how you do life as a parent, when you sit down and you want to talk about how the world needs to be a better place, it starts with you and it starts with your home. But a lot of times your home is messed up because you have taken on this type of persona that, you Hercules. And then the same people that think that they're Hercules are the same people that sit up there and be like, I can't talk to nobody. Don't nobody understand. No, it's not that don't nobody understand. It's the position that you've always presented. You see, for me, I'm going to tell you, listen, I'm messed up right now. Pray for me. I'm going to always tell you that. But then there's certain people that have built this wall up. And that wall is an exterior of how tough you are. So when life hits you in the mouth, people don't know, or they're not there to help because you've always tried to make it seem like you've got everything under control, and you don't. And that's okay. That's okay. We are all spiritual beings having a human experience. It's okay. You're not going to have a great day every day. But the people that have got life figured out is tomorrow can be a better day. There's 365 days in a year. Every day should be like getting up and signing a new contract because you have 24 hours to be better than you were 24 hours ago. You can't get stuck in these places that are comfortable. This is why relationships end. Relationships end because you have two people, right? Two different sets of trauma. Two different sets of things that have happened that has caused them to react a certain way and this, that, and the other. When those two people collide, if one person is willing to do the work and the other person is just willing to be, it'll never work. It'll never work. If one person is willing to do the work and the other person is just like, well, this is how I've always been, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. That's why I'm a firm believer in you have to be honest with yourself. You have to look in the mirror and stop blaming everybody else. Stop using your trauma as a weapon. Stop, you know what I'm saying? This is a case in point, right? You ever been around someone who you're having a discussion, right? And then all of a sudden, that person will try to turn it around on you. Like you can be having a discussion and then that person to try to pinpoint a certain weakness that they think that you have or something that you have done, and then they'll just throw it out there, right? It's a defense mechanism. And I used to be the type of person that when that was done to me, I'm going to get with you. But what I've learned is in doing self-reflection on myself is that was a weak point for me. I couldn't stand when somebody, you know what I'm saying, felt like they was getting over on me. I could not stand it. I couldn't stand when I felt like I'm doing everything that I possibly can for a person and that person will ignore it, but then heap all of the praise on somebody else. That used to just grind my gears. And I found myself missing on so much sleep. I would physically get sick, right? So I started looking at myself and I started being like, well, why is that? Then I had to understand that I've been through some things in my life that was causing me to act that way, but then justifying it because I went through some stuff. Because I went through some stuff, I was justifying it. But see, you can't be picky and choosy when you do that. Because like I said, there's people that grew up in domestic violence. Then when they go upside your head, you like, blah, 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 this, that, and other, this, that, and other. But you have went through some stuff. And when you do the same thing, not physically, but when you do the same thing emotionally, isn't that the same thing? I always tell people, right? If you push me and I knock your teeth out, there's going to be people that say that I'm wrong. Why did you knock his teeth out? All he did was push him. But that push was something that triggered me. So who's wrong? Was it the push or was it the punch? You know what I'm saying? Like, had you not pushed me, you wouldn't have got your teeth knocked out your mouth. And a lot of people have this problem that they do things, they say things, and then they think that they can dictate on how you accept it. They'll say something to you, and then they'll tell you, well, I ain't mean it like that. Or they'll say something to you, oh man, let's say you're having a conversation with somebody and then you like this. Like you know what I'm saying, you stupid or whatever the case may be, right? Then that person is hurt. That person is just really like, they might be on the suicide watch, right? And then you like, well, I ain't mean it like that. Now you got an attitude because of something that you said. I ain't mean it like that. It didn't matter how you meant. It's how it was received. It's how it was received. So my message to anybody out there today is that you got to have self-accountability. You got to. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know me by now. I mention my grandparents pretty much on every video. But I knew that there would come a day that, they would no longer be here. And one of the things that kind of, it helped me out was that I showed them love each and every way that you can imagine. Like I showed them love. And, when the death, came knocking, even though I showed them so much love, there was those little moments that I thought like, well, maybe I should have called. You know what? This time, such and such, because all you have left is just the what ifs or I should have. So if you find yourself in a situation today and you have loved ones or you have, people that you love will get on your nerves the most, it's because you genuinely love them. And there's somebody right now that's getting on the road, that's driving, that's not going to make it home today. This is just a natural fact. There's somebody that's going into the hospital today that's not going to make it out. And then there's the other person that knows that person that has treated that person in such a way. You know why? Because they felt like, I'll see him tomorrow or I'll see him later. Just really think about that. There's somebody in your life right now that has, that really loves you. And yes, sometimes love's hurt. I wish that I didn't have to be the type of person that I am sometimes. Like I have to be the type of person that I have to tell you when you're wrong. I have to tell you when you're acting less than your worth. But in doing that, you become the hated one, or you become the person that's like, oh my gosh, here he go again. You know what I'm saying? But I have to, especially for the people that I love. And a lot of times the people that you love is the ones that hurt you the most. That's why it hurts when you have kids and they do things, because you're like, if you only knew how much I loved you, if you only knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm gonna get out your space, but growing up, I never could spend a night at nobody's house. My grandparents would not let me spend a night at nobody's house. And, you know, when I was younger, okay, cool, whatever. But when I got to be like 14, you know, it was a problem. My friends would be like, hey, come on, you know what I'm saying? Come spend a night. And I go, hey, you know, they want me to spend a night. Nope. They can come here, but you can't go over there. And I'm like, why? Well, because we can control what happened here. We can't control what happened in there. And it bothered me. But looking back, some of those decisions saved my life. And my grandmother, you know, when she would have to tell me no, I know it hurt her because I was hurt or I was upset. But she still had to stand strong because she was like, you will understand. Right now, you might not like me, but you will understand. And so years later, my kids don't spend the night nowhere. And I find myself saying the same thing. But the key was, I got to let her know in real time, I thank you. And I understand now. I get it. So anyways, man, this was a little longer, you know what I'm saying, video, man. But, you know, hopefully this resonates with somebody. Don't use your use your trauma as a weapon. Don't do that. Don't use your trauma as a weapon. If you can identify your trauma, then you work on that. There's somebody out there that's depending on you. Somebody is depending on you. And life is about evolution. Don't get to the point to where you're comfortable in confusion. That's why you can't sleep at night. Your body has a way of letting you know that you are doing something wrong. So anyways, man, I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for supporting me, man. And it feels good, man. It feels good to be, you know what I'm saying, wanted. It's a really good feeling, man. So I thank all y'all.